Message for Jonathan Glazer and all who agree with his message. Refuting your Jewishness is refuting your humanity. Jonathan, the generation before you went through terrible, terrible things. Worse than any of us could have ever imagined. Until October 7th. They left there and they said, never again. Now, because of people in the generation who are like you before me, my generation is forced to say, never, ever again.
Who is Jonathan Glazer and why is an IDF soldier addressing what Glazer had to say? Well, it turns out that he's an Oscar winner and filmmaker, and Jonathan Glazer is receiving a lot of backlash over his Oscar acceptance speech over the weekend, where he wanted to make a point about the treatment of Palestinians, but also wanted to make a point about how the Jewish identity is being used as justification for some of the atrocities that are being carried out by the IDF against Palestinians. Now, Glazer actually is a Jewish person himself, and he directed a Holocaust-era film called The Zone of Interest, which won the Oscar for Best International Picture. The film, loosely based on a book by Martin Amis, was made with cooperation from the Auschwitz Museum. So important work, and he should be celebrated, but unfortunately people stopped listening after he said 2 words in his speech, and they did not pay attention to the context of what he was saying. So while accepting the award, Glazer spoke out against Israel and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. And so I'm gonna read you the portion of his speech that's relevant to this story. He said, quote, "Our film shows where dehumanization leads at its worst. Right now, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked by an occupation which has led to conflict for so many innocent people. Whether the victims of October the 7th in Israel or the ongoing attack on Gaza, all the victims of this dehumanization, how do we resist? Like, how do we fight back, right?" Fantastic statement, because he understands and acknowledges the humanity of everyone. Jewish victims of what happened on October 7th, Israeli victims of what happened on October 7th, and Palestinian victims of what has been happening and continues to happen in the Gaza Strip.
So I want to first celebrate Jonathan Glazer and then talk about the IDF soldier, and then we're going to get to Meghan McCain and her level of idiocy. So I love the statement, "Don't hijack my Jewishness and the memory of the Holocaust." It's really powerful, and he's proud of his Jewishness, and he's right to be. And so the fact that they flipped it on its head and are purposely lying and pretending that he said that he wanted to get rid of his Jewishness, it shows you who's honest and who's not, who's on the right side and who's not. Because all you have to do is read the whole sentence. Once you do, you know that that's not what he said at all. So you're like, I think it's so terribly immoral and dishonest to tell the whole world, as the IDF soldiers is, Meghan McCain is, that this guy's rejecting his Jewishness when he did a whole movie about the Holocaust.
I know.
And the IDF soldier is saying, "Oh, we know what never again means." No, you don't. You don't know that at all. What you mean is never again for me.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, but again and again and again for you. Because we showed the starving babies in Gaza, it was on CNN, it's not in dispute, and they look like victims of the Holocaust. And so if that bothers you, it should. My statements are a matter of fact. You're not being bothered by my statements, you're being bothered by reality. And that's the reality that the IDF is doing right now. So they don't mean never again. At all, at all. Jonathan Glazer does. The wonderful people that are actually fighting for peace and decency do. But those guys that are justifying a genocide right in front of our eyes have never meant it. They just mean me. But I'm perfectly happy to do it to someone else with my own hands.
Well, Meghan McCain, who left The View and no longer wanted to share her opinions on daytime television, has graced us with her opinions on Glazer via Twitter, saying, A lot of people in Hollywood showing their ass when a man gets on stage to refute his Jewishness and half the room claps. Okay. Do you want to get to the rest of his statement and maybe talk about refuting Jewishness in the context that he was referring to? And look, I don't get this weird need to defend Israel in any and all cases, even in situations where, like, this guy isn't doing anything wrong. Like, he didn't say anything wrong. He's obviously proud to be Jewish. He's proud of his heritage. It's just weird that, like, Meghan McCain felt the need to, like, jump on this, and, like, it's like a special type of virtue signaling. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's trying to say, I love Israel more than even Jews do. And
yes, thank you, yes.
And it's gross and it's stupid. And of course, what she really loves is war, which she'll accidentally admit that in a second as well.
She doesn't even know what she loves. She hasn't, like, given herself 2 seconds to think critically about any political issue.
I know, but her dad is John McCain, so she assumes war is always the right answer. She forgot the question, but the right answer is war because that was John McCain, one of the biggest warmongers in American history. There wasn't a single war that he was opposed to. He just loved war, wanted to finance every kind of war, and so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But hey, listen, Meghan, you're not more Jewish than Jonathan Glazer, so shut the F up, okay? And he didn't say that he was refuting his Jewishness. He said he was celebrating it, and he didn't want it hijacked by people like you.
So let's go to graphic 4. Yona Lieberman responded to Meghan McCain saying, a lot of people like you showing their asses by not finishing the sentence and implying a Jewish director of an award-winning movie about the Holocaust would somehow not feel Jewish. Like, it's just, I don't even think Meghan McCain is Jewish herself.
No, she's not. No.
Yeah, it's just like, so this whole saga is so absurd. Like, the whole thing is so absurd. This is why people don't want to, like, go out there, put themselves out there and talk to strangers, get to know new people. Because, like, everyone's waiting to get offended by things that are not meant to be offensive.
But she is offended by the idea that anybody would be for peace and would want to help those poor Palestinians getting slaughtered right now. No, she's got to prove to the people in power she can kiss Israel's ass better than anyone can. Congratulations, Meghan. You're the most special kind of awful person in the world. You love war crimes, you love genocide, even more you claim, but look at the anti-Semitism there too, by the way, accidentally hidden in that statement. Like, I like the war crimes more than even this Jewish guy does. Why? Why would a Jewish guy like it? No, that's not a Jewish value. It's the right-wing government of Israel that's doing it. It's a government that's doing it. The problem isn't the religion. The problem isn't the people. The problem is the monsters that are in charge. Oh yeah, like your dad. Whenever he was in charge, he wanted to kill, 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 bomb, bomb, bomb. So I guess, again, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. All you want to do is kill, 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 and you assume that a whole religion does it while you're pretending to be on the side of that religion.
Mehdi Hassan responded saying, that's not what he did, this is a lie. It's a complete cutoff / distortion of his full quote. But now this lie has gone viral and people like Meghan McCain are refusing to delete their disinformation tweets despite hundreds of people informing and correcting them. Shameful. And just to give you a sense of how much Meghan McCain wants to dig her heels in being wrong, she quote tweeted him saying, "No peace, bitch." Well, I mean, I didn't realize that was the argument. How persuasive.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know that anything describes the McCain philosophy better than no peace, bitch.
Totally, 100%.
Like, we don't care what you say. No peace, always war. Congratulations, Meghan. You seem like a real humanitarian.